Hey everybody, welcome to the Growing with Bushes podcast. I'm Steve, and this week we have Leighton from Kingdom Aquaponics with us.
Hey all,
how's it going?
We're out here in Portland, Maine, and we're getting ready for the Science of Regenerative Organic Cannabis Conference out here in Friday through Sunday out here in Maine, Portland, Maine, over at the Fraternal Order of Eagles. So if you're looking to check that out, go over to regenerativeorganiccannabis.com. We have a super awesome guest list. Dr. Lane Ingham will be there. Susan Wainwright Evans, myself, Leighton will be there. Chris Trump will be there.
Great panels at night.
Yep. Kevin Jodry. We'll have a Dem Pure panel. We'll have a bunch of awesome East Coast breeders. It'll be really awesome. Originally, we were supposed to have Beth on the show from Open Cannabis Project. She's unable to make it tonight. She had a last minute issue. There's been a lot of problems with weather on the West Coast, and everyone trying to fly out to the other conference is having some problems yesterday and today. I know I spent the better part of an entire day yesterday going through airplane hell and airport hell, changing flights and everything else. So she ended up getting caught up in the same issues that we did, only about 24 hours later. So she was unable to make it with us live, but she's going to reschedule with us here in a couple of weeks, and we're going to get her on the show to tell us all about what's currently going on with the patenting stuff with cannabis in the United States and Canada. And we're going to actually bring her and I actually talked earlier today. We're going to get both a Canadian and U.S. patent lawyer on the show for that episode, so that we can actually talk and actually have someone, it's not just us talking and how we feel about a matter. We'll actually have someone that can speak firsthand on the legality of those topics for that episode. So it's going to end up being, because of the delay, we're actually going to end up having a far, in my opinion, a better quality episode for all of you viewers. That's more accurate information, that we'll have a lawyer live right there that can answer questions, at least in regards to the patent stuff that we're talking about. We'll have two of them, hopefully. At least that's the plan. We're working out dates on that to coordinate with everybody.
You got Ben.
That's what she suggested for her side, and then I'm gonna get a Canadian guy to come in and talk on Canada. So
Ben's a stand-up guy.
Yep. Leighton, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do and what you're going to be speaking on this week?
I'm doing a couple different talks. One of them is going to be about building regenerative soils, so that you have a soil system you don't have to add a lot to, that is suitable for growing microorganisms and will quickly form micro and macro aggregates, which help with the transpiration of the soil, oxygen in, CO2 out, etc. So that's the first talk. The second one is on advanced biologicals that are available on the market now that we know work, vetted. And so I think that's really important tools for people out there to have access to. So hopefully we get some good attendance. Difference.
Awesome. So you and Josh are really the kind of the two guys behind the conference. Why don't you tell everybody about the conference, what's it all about, and how it got started?
Yeah, that's a good story. It got started with a conversation 5 days before Christmas 2 years ago. Josh was like, hey, we should record the conversation. I was like, Josh, why don't we just do a conference? And we both laughed about it. And I think it was 2 days after Christmas, he called me back and said, hey, I've booked a place in Portland, Oregon. What? All right, I better get on the phone. So I called some peeps, and he called some peeps, and pulled it together on a wing and a prayer. At the conference, we had a group from South Humboldt come up, and we're like, oh my God, we need to hear this. You guys have put on an amazing conference. So unlike all the bro fests and other cannabis conferences that we go to, you guys are bringing us real knowledge, real science, and real tools. And so I went around and asked the speakers, hey, can you guys,
I think we lost him, Mr. Green Jeans.
Yeah, we're the only ones here.
And they're gone.
And they're gone.
So what have you been up to, Mr. Green?
Not much. I'm hanging with son of Mr. Green Jeans here.
Son of Mr. Green Jeans, I like it.
That's do you get it?
F1?
No. Well, yeah. But that's how I got my name. It's actually the name of a Frank Zappa song. It's called "Son of Mr. Green Jeans." I should get the link. Yeah, no kidding. It was composed in 1969. It's a Zappa song, and of course, anybody could be forgiven for not knowing that because Zappa had such a gigantic discography, anyways. You know.
I know a few of them, but not that one.
Sorry, what did you say, Marty?
I'm not familiar with that one. No, but you're right. They do. They have a just album after album after album.
Yeah, I think Zappa put out like more than 100 albums in his lifetime, or something like that.
It's a lot for sure.
Yeah, and it was really funny because I got so many Green Jeans imposters now, and I was kind of curious whether like that one guy on YouTube is huge. He's got quite a big following, and I was curious as to whether he actually knows the origin of the name or not, or
probably not. Probably copied you off the IC mag and is riding the wave.
Exactly. Everybody just copped it from me rather than getting the actual history of the name, but that's where it comes from. It's a Zappa song.
Hey, what's up, Roger?
Yeah, not much. Just getting through with World War III with the old lady. We off air? On air. We're live. We're live. Hey, everybody.
Yep, we're live. We're waiting for Steve. He dropped off.
Oh, okay. What, his internet connection dropped out?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's traveling. He's in Maine, so he might have maybe having some technical issues.
Well, he's in his hotel because I talked to him about half an hour ago, and he had just got in the hotel and had to set everything up and he'll get late. He was going to have Leighton on tonight because the other two had to cancel and move their time. Well, everybody's traveling, so everybody's having problems.
Yeah, he was on just a minute ago, so he should be back in.
Yeah, it might be the thing. So yeah,
he'll be back. So. What are you working on in the garden, Mr. Green Jeans? What strains are you playing with?
I'm still babysitting all my. I realized when we were talking, and I said, doubles. I meant sisters, separate clones or sisters or brothers. I never have duplicates of the same plant, which is one of the reasons why. That's a real white knuckling situation, making only a single clone from each single clone. You know what I mean? And, I've got a Jack Herrera cut that's over 15 years old, and it just goes from single clone to single clone, So blow it one time and you're done for, But but recently I've been doing some. I got Swami, sent me some cherry bomb seeds. And I started 3, Dad? But all 3 of them turned out to be females, which I think is kind of funny and possibly a little bit prophetic, because people were asking me, are you gonna distribute Cherry Bomb? Are you gonna take it over again? And I said, Dad? Well, no, probably not. Ethically speaking, Swami is the guy to distribute it now, and I've been pointing people at Swami for a long time, and.
Okay, so I don't need to do a separate podcast. That's fucking.
Oh, hey, what's up?
There he is. He's back.
The podcast like the last couple of times to disconnect.
Oh, just burst right in and interrupt the conversation. Okay. All right.
No, we weren't talking about nothing.
No, rehashing Cherry Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool thing you did too, Mr. Green Jeans. That the fact that he's redeveloped it and made it something that's cool that you take that attitude. I think that says a lot about you, my man. Yep.
Well, so I actually uploaded on the website a little, because I got a bunch of essays and people writing me emails and everything, and I uploaded a little blurb about the ethics of breeding, which was so, and that was one of my things. I was like, if you're gonna, like for example, I have a male and female Grand Slam, and that's what is it, Dungeon Vault Genetics. I have a male and female, so I could crank Grand Slam seeds, but I'm not going to. That's their business, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not going to step on their toes. But I think it's kind of funny that the ratio, the test, the seeds that I started from Swami, I just figured, I'd start 4, One of them didn't germinate, or I killed it probably. And so I got 3, and the sex ratio is they're all females. So I can't make pure cherry bomb seeds right now.
No, man.
Anyway, you know,
You're
so
probably
the
like,
joke's on me. Planning to, but it's just that kind of thing. You know how it's funny how those sex ratios work out. Mary Jane messes with your head sometimes that way. Doug, you're not supposed to make more seeds. Mr. Green Jeans. Sorry.
right.
Yeah, you did. You pulled Roger on me then.
Yeah, I know. It says, I know. I'm
They
out.
clearly
I'm
don't
out
know
of
who
the
they're
closet.
talking to then.
I love using the term "out of the closet" now too, because of Dennis Perone. I'm not gay, but I'm out of the closet.
Really?
You know,
Out of the grower closet. There you
Out
go.
of the green closet.
out of the green closet, dude.
Yeah, because
We
I've
all
all
need to
messed
come out
up
of
a
the
couple
closet.
times because we talk so much, and I've called you by your first name and went, "Ah, crap."
It's.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're doing here. You know, I think that, like Gypsy. I don't think anybody ever saw Gypsy's face until he came on our podcast.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's
came-
cool
came
about
out.
this show, man.
He came out.
Daddy.
Wait, you guys. I'm sorry. I got to pay attention to the son of Mr. Green Jeans.
That's all right. No problem.
It's all good.
I'm gonna mute myself. Sorry.
We can get Leighton to pick up off where he was. So you were explaining how the conference got started here. You and Josh got together and you're sharing talks.
Well, I mean, it was about cleaning up misinformation. We're both very passionate guys, and just got really frustrated with the nonsense being spun out on the internet. And, people are trying it and failing, and then shitting on organics. It's just not cool. So, not only do we want to provide people with real information, real science, real tools, but we want to give them examples of people that have been doing it for years correctly. And so now they have resources that they can reach out to when they have a problem or a question and get a real answer, not something off the internet. Yes. So that's kind of what started the whole thing, and it's gained some momentum and kind of snowballing at this point. So, and we're going to keep this rolling as long as we can, and as long as people are out there and supporting us. That's how it all came about. And I think the cool part about this is that as we're gaining momentum, we're also gaining attention from a lot of people who do have other tools that we don't have. And so it's really just expanding on a really cool level that is, uncharted, very organic.
A big shout out to Josh and Kelly from Dragonfly.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and Colin from MSP, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with him with in vivo versus in vitro organisms to really bring a whole nother level of both inoculants as well as stimulants for soil construction and actual plant stimulant. So it's going to be a crazy ride for the next few years. Looking forward to it. Oh, and shout out to you too. Thanks. Much love, bro.
Yeah, and then tell them about who we have for this weekend. Who's helping us out, educating everybody.
So yeah, we got Dr. Elaine starting up. Then I hit off with soil construction. Then I follow up with advanced biologicals. Got you talking in the afternoon about getting people to get into aquaponics. Steve and I are geeking on the water column organisms. I mean, it's insane that if you really think about where humanity started to evolve to the next level, it's where oceans and rivers met. And that's because the rivers were giant compost tea machines, and the oceans provided an incredible aquatic fertility. The combination was like all you had to do is build a little shelter, and you had all the food you could possibly imagine. And so it's taking that kind of concept and theme and saying, hey, let's biomimic nature and take these organisms out of the water system, water columns, get them back into the soil because, hey, you motherfuckers killed them all. And let's get that soil functioning again. And let's benefit from, real nutrient and mineral loaded plants, whether we're consuming them in cannabis or eating them in vegetables or fruits. This place is the Garden of Eden, and we kind of shit on it for a long time. So now it's time to let's rebuild it, and in rebuilding it, we'll rebuild our health, and provide income to people who have been shut out by the the monster economic-based system society that we live in. So power to the people. Let's get the power back in the hands of individuals and take it away from monster motherfucking corporations. My language.
No, and that's why we all need to focus on banding together, getting aquaponic producers, be that soil, aquaponics, organic hydro, and all working together. Not stop the nitpicking, stop the infighting. If we don't work together, we're going to get completely run out of the market. And
Run
that's
the fuck over.
Yep, and that's why it's wonderful. Like we have, Dr. Lane Ingham, we have Susan Marin Evans, we have yourself.
We didn't get into Saturday.
Yeah, and none of them do anything with aquaponics. They're all soil people. Chris Trump, they're all hardcore soil, but they're happy to come and all of them have come except for Susan so far have come.
Oh, she's coming around.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
If I'm correct, none of them were even involved in cannabis. They were experts in their field pre-cannabis involvement.
Yeah, we've been dragging them in, kicking and screaming, but they're getting.
Yeah, we'll get Susan on. Don't worry.
I
worked hard on her tonight.
Right. Bottom line, guys, the cannabis is the most studied and watched plant on this planet. And if we can blow this shit up, then everybody, all people, agriculture, horticulture is all going to get on board, because they're going to realize if you can do this with a nutrient-starved pig like cannabis, you can do it with anything. And that's what this is about, is using cannabis as a platform to launch good, solid agricultural practices for the entire planet. And, it's a beautiful thing. It's really awesome to be a part of something at the beginning.
Like Steve was saying, I think it's cool that, it can start coexisting, for a long time. It's sort of been like separate camps, and Steve can probably talk about just some of the experiences he's had in soil groups online. Is not overly responsive, more so now than before. But when we started, and especially when we started the podcast, there was a very negative attitude around it, and it always surprised me because all of the living soil people in there, they talk about biomimicry and all of that stuff. And I could never figure out how you could complete the cycle of biomimicry without incorporating aquatic life somewhere. I mean, when you look around, every body of water that sustains life is populated by some form of aquatic life of some size or shape or form. So how can you completely achieve biomimicry without some form of closed loop aquaponics was always curious to me. Like why some people, it seemed like it took them a long time to make that jump or stretch. And I think it's the hydro aspect of it. It looks like hydro, and it's like, if you just look at a grow, you can look at it and be like, oh, that's a hydro grow. Like, well, not necessarily, and I think that was kind of the separation. And also the aquaponics people were always resistant to soil because it, caused issues in closed loop systems if you don't do it properly. So it was like bridging that gap. It has has definitely been interesting, and so that's what I like about your guys' conference, is that you can experience both and coexist, like Steve was saying, without the infighting. Helps a lot.
Well, I hope that it's more than coexist. I hope it's co-create. That's kind of why we're doing it. And, pounding this home that, look, you can throw a fish tank in the friggin' corner and you're going to get those friggin' critical organisms that live in the water column to help work with your soil system. I mean, I get into diatome. People are like, what the fuck's a diatome? Jesus Christ, they produce this 40% of the oxygen on the planet. And we don't talk about these things and what we're doing to them and killing them off. Don't worry about the Amazon jungle, people. You fucking wipe the oceans out, we're done. Everything living on this planet is going away. So, that is so important. And I'm a big fan of like getting people to understand aquaponics and aquaculture are critical things moving forward until we figure out how to clean up the shit we've already messed up.
I think something you mentioned earlier about how we're into this massive industrial culture, and it's almost like nothing can succeed unless you can have a monopoly, pretty much. And I think that what in what we're getting at with what's going on with people in your conference. And again, I'm not sure if I can really talk about this too much, so I'm going to just be vague because I know that everybody knows that much. But the fact that there's this coalition growing of a partnership around the world, you know,
that, yeah, the Dem Pure Collective. That's totally allowed. You can talk about that publicly.
That's going to be how we can win out in the end. When you've got, instead of having one farmer or a community of farmers fighting against Monsanto, we're going to have farmers from around the world fighting against Monsanto. And that's where I think the strength is going to come in this movement, is that as more people buy into the health benefits and what it and the beneficial for the planet itself and our waterways, that more and more people are going to jump on the bandwagon, and it will become too strong for the big giant corporations and the government to ignore us anymore.
And I want to grab this for a second and say that's why it's going to be important when we get Beth on the show, and she was, had to have her flight stuff all screwed up tonight. But when she comes back on the show, it's really important to understand what she's talking about, so that growers can properly protect themselves, their hard work, and their intellectual property. I mean, everyone that's watched the podcast knows that was when Buddha Cheese came out and was trying to patent their strain. I ripped him a new asshole. But now that I've got a chance to spend a lot of time with a bunch of growers up at Humboldt and get to hang out with a lot of family grows that have been doing this for 40 plus years, they absolutely deserve the right to be able to patent or at least protect and decide who gets to grow their stuff, and not have to worry about someone replicating it, not have to worry about people. Like there was just in the news, you had the yeast producers, people producing cannabinoids of yeast or CBGA, synthase stuff, and that's another way. You're going to have to protect the patent on your profile of your strains, so that it doesn't just get replicated synthetically, and that's going to be a whole separate court battle, which when we're able to get Beth on, she'll be able to talk about in great detail.
And someone else that I think is really important, if I can just get people to watch this one documentary called The Third Industrial Revolution, it will give them hope that there is going to be a change, that this economic-based monster that controls all of us and is trying to literally make us all slaves, it's going to get wiped out. And it starts with open source. And it's a great documentary. I think it's on Top Docs or YouTube. But if you chase it, you'll find it. Watch it. It'll give you inspiration. Spread the word so that people get behind it and are not scared of these tools that are happening, whether they want to or not. This is going on, and it's going to change the face of what's present right now. And again, a little bit of hope goes a long way with all of the misery that we all have to suffer.
Absolutely. And it's been wonderful to network and connect with other people to try and build these networks to keep us all going, because again, like we said earlier, if we don't band together now, we're all fucked. Like it's that simple. So is there anything else you wanted to mention about the conference?
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that we could get the word out. One of the things that's the hardest in these conferences is that people come up and say, "Oh my God, I had no idea what this was about. This is amazing. I would have told all my friends that oh my God, you got to go to this." We're not here selling sponsors. We're not making money. We're here giving you tools and access to people that not only have done this, but are providing products that work. And, that's the whole goal here. So spread the word. I mean, that's the key, is in a grassroots movement, getting the word out so people know that this is available, whether they live stream it or whether they show up. Either way, they're going to get the information. Be successful, collaborate, and collectively work as a whole. And that's the only way we're going to go forward without, like we're saying, Monsanto or some other motherfucker there coming in, feeling it all. So, we got a couple other guests that are showing up. All right.
I'm going to say you're a lot different, Leighton, when you're all in your road gear than your office when you're all dressed up like an accountant or something. But And you cuss a lot more now too. Boy, I tell you what, I was like, who is this guy? You was like Mr. Prim and Proper every time you've been on the show, you know. And
Well, you know, I'm kind of old school, so you know, I listen to my dad. He's like, oh, you know, you gotta clean up, shave. Yeah. Now I'm just like, you know what? These people don't judge me. I can be who the fuck I am, and that's
There's people that look like me at this conference.
and this is my good friend and love, Wendy, and I'm gonna turn it over to her because I gotta go get ready for my conference tomorrow. I'm on talking, and I need to be on point. So I'm gonna give her the stage and the mic, and let Steve play with her. And I hope to meet you guys in person at some point in the near future.
I'll see you at Ann Arbor. I already got my hotel and flights booked.
Awesome, bro. Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, me too.
And Green Jeans, someday you too, bro.
I hope so.
All right, Godspeed, all of you, man. Catch you on the flip flop.
See you later.
Good night.
Good night.
Hello.
I
How's it
know
going?
Josh has a different agenda.
Josh will be joining us in a minute.
Oh, he's coming in?
Yeah,
Well,
after he gets done rolling.
he's got a full joint.
What you said?
I got the
You
smoke.
said that.
This
gonna say,
is,
and then he
in
has to
Maine
smoke.
here, they're super chill about it. You can, you know, public use is not really a thing they ask you for.
Where'd he go?
I'm
What do
here.
we-
Down there. There he is.
Oh, Josh joined us that way.
Yeah,
That
he's
works.
got his phone. He's always here. Really, he's on his phone. So,
I'm always behind listening. I'm in the dark.
geez.
On the other side of the wall.
So Wendy, what do you have to tell us and share with us tonight? Since you know, Josh
Oh
is
my
playing
God,
with
I've been awake since 1 a.m. No, wait. Sorry, that's not even true. I've been awake since 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, California time. So I don't even know. I think I'm operating on like the 3 brain cells that are baby functioning. So it's a great time to ask me something totally bizarre and off the wall because I'll probably answer it in a really entertaining way.
So why don't you tell them what you're talking about at the conference? What you're
I
presenting.
don't know.
Uh-oh.
How's the weather?
Uh-oh.
I'm cobbling together.
Hey,
Yeah, you know, I'm trying to figure out what's going to be most important to our East Coast friends over here. And I don't really know that much about the regulations and the laws that are happening in Maine. I've been doing some consulting with businesses that are looking to get started with their states in 2020. So Kentucky, Minnesota, a couple others I can't remember off the top of my head. So that's been something that I think is really pertinent to a lot of people, but not necessarily to this state. So I'm just trying to think about, you know, I don't know, like, what do you guys?
What did you speak on his last time?
Well, last time we just did some KNF stuff. So we did IMO, which I love. I think it's really amazing. And then last year, my talk was mostly on basically how to watch your margins, what to do in order to move your business forward. Because as more and more states get regulated, and I imagine when we see federal regulation, we're going to see a huge shift in these price points. So, I mean, I think that over here, you guys are still seeing some pretty good prices. I suspect that's going to change. And so now is a good time to really tighten up your SOPs, tighten up your margins, figure out where you can effectively cut your expenses and how to get really, really efficient with what you're doing. And I think that especially with cannabis, really with any business, efficiency is super, super key. If you're not efficient in what you're doing, if you're running around for 10 minutes looking for a shovel or a sprayer or a hose or a water wand, you've got a problem. Buy another water wand. If you have 4 gardens, 1 to 2 water wands in each garden.
I got a set of tools everywhere on the
you
farm.
get a hose, and you get a hose, and you get
Yeah.
a hose.
So
We all get hose.
hoses for everybody.
Well, you talked about Maine. I can tell you this much because we have a friend that's in Maine. They were really doing kind of neat, pretty good when they were just medical, and like all the other states, when they changed to recreational, it's all in kind of in limbo. Although I do understand, last time I talked with Dummy, that they were still allowing the medical to go. It was still separate, and they are limited by square feet. They're limited by square feet in Maine. So it's not a plant count in Maine; it's square footage in Maine.
That's like California.
Huh?
That California is the same. It's not plant. Well, if you're very, very small, it's plant count, but otherwise, for the most part, it's square footage.
Okay. Yeah, because you mean more you're commercial as opposed to homegrown.
You got it.
Home growers. Yeah.
Yep.
So still 99 plants in California. You can still grow 99 plants.
No.
Oh, they did away with that. The wind changed direction. Okay.
Nope.
Six.
Medical.
6 personal grow, no medical. Medical, there's no such thing anymore. 215 compassionate care. California effectively killed it. Wow. It's all now. We have one regulation. It's called MALCRSA, the Medical Adult Use and Recreational MAUCRSA, Medical Adult Use Cannabis Regulation. I don't know, dude.
MAUCR anyway. We got that far. MAUCR.
YMCA. There is sorry, really running on like no sleep right now. So we had Prop 215, right, which was really regulated by your doctor's recommendations.
Right.
Then we had Prop 64, and there were, for just a real hot second, there was going to be 2 sets of regulations. You had ALMA, which was the Adult Use Marijuana Act.
Yeah.
Was it really marijuana? Did they put marijuana in that? That's crazy. Anyway,
SB 94.
It's the same thing in Oregon.
64. So that was ALMA, and then MALCRSA.
SB 94, 92. That was the blanket regulations for both.
64 was blank. Well, so not exactly,
I know
but
yeah. I get it.
So we had ALMA, which was rec, and we had MALCRSA, which was medical, and then they merged them to be MALCRSA, which now regulates all commercial cannabis activity, regardless if it's medical or rec. And then you have now, because it's recreational, anybody can grow 6 plants, which is awesome in a way, but also sucks because there are so many people that would love to do it, but really don't know how to start. So that's a whole nother, that's a topic for a whole nother day.
Well, and you limit the people that already know, right? Like the people that are already existing and are probably providing it for other people that don't or don't have the means to, right? So it's unfortunate that, it follows the same line as Oregon, which is, our medical program, which also has marijuana in the name, which is super frustrating as well. The Oregon Medical Marijuana Program. It's like, well, it's not even a word, but anyway. So, and it's basically effectively killed. I mean, it still exists and you can enroll in it, but you get 2 extra plants. That's essentially, and you can take clones. I guess that's it. But I think by the time you're done, unless you had, get like a, veterans discount or something like that, like $450 by the time you're done to be able to grow 2 extra plants. And for most people that don't really know how to grow, it's probably not even worth it,
Right.
So enrollment's down like 80%. So all the funding for the medical marijuana program has disappeared. I think we're down to 3 dispensaries statewide for the medical program.
California, Oregon's down to 3 medical dispensaries statewide.
Yeah, so it's essentially because rec dispensary licensing is so cheap,
right?
And so readily available. They would have to essentially dual license to be a medical carrier. Yep. And nobody does that. And so that also effectively kills medical growers because then they have no legal way to distribute their product because there's only 3 dispensaries to be able to display product in for the entire state. So, you can understand why that doesn't work. We were down to 7 and we were doing pretty good there for a while, and then we had a few more drop off. So I'm not sure what exactly we're down to, but it's it's very low for the entire state. I know that much, and it's unfortunate. So then they opened it up and they said, okay, well, you can, as a medical grower, you can sell up to 20 pounds to a rec dispensary per year.
That does no good, really.
You know, it's like a drop in the bucket compared to the entire medical industry that used to exist and essentially provide free medicine for the patients that needed it. Now are buying it from dispensaries or having to essentially pay someone to grow for them at their own place. Like they have people that come and they, you know, try to do these creative ways to be able to grow for people, but you're still limited to essentially 12 plants per site, and the patient has to live on site. So if your uncle gets prostate cancer and you want to be able to grow some seed and you know, help him out, you can't even do that. You're gonna have to go over to his house, set it up there, do everything over there, and there's no way to get above the count unless you have a specifically zoned property. Then you can grow and distribute to patients, but all of your excess still has to go to a medical dispensary, anything above 20 pounds. So you can imagine any sort of like serious investor is going to be like, oh, hey, no thanks. And that's pretty much what happens, because it just limits your output to essentially not enough for anything. It's unfortunate. Forces everyone to go rec, both patients and growers and dispensaries. Essentially it's so front loaded towards recreational that, you know, medical's pretty much a joke at this point.
That's really sad. Because getting back to that, because I didn't realize that. I knew they'd made changes and it was getting kind of weird in California, but I never did get the clarity that they absolutely completely dropped Prop 215 or whatever the bill was, the 215.
Effectively, yeah.
That's unbelievable. You know, I just don't see why they've got good medical practices going on, and then they want to drop it and just go recreational, which is kind of what I'm hearing over here. Is
it's because of the money.
Wild West, you know.
It's because of the money, dude.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know what it's about. I mean, you know me. I'm the biggest one, the first one to come out and start preaching about the freaking government one. If government or Marlboro wanted to do it and could patent it, it'd be legal, you know. We lost somebody.
We lost Steve.
No, lost Steve again.
Josh, well, I'll tell you what, folks. Maine, in case you don't realize that Maine is way up there.
There we are.
It's Maine is actually, we just learned this. It's at 43 degrees north longitude.
Where we are.
Latitude, excuse me.
Well, Maine is actually, yeah, for the most part, Maine is, you know, like all located east of Canada. You know, it's like where Dummy lives, he's halfway up the entire Canadian country of Canada, you know. Where he lives, yeah, he lives. If you look at it on the map now that you're up there, Van Buren is where he lives, and it's the most northeastern tip of Maine, right on the Canadian border. He literally has the customs compound at the back of his property. That's how close he is to the border. The customs compound. You could hit a golf ball from his yard into the customs compound back there on the Canadian border. And there's a crossway. There's actually a crossway, but because of the laws here, after 9/11, they shut down everything. So his town is dead, but the Canadian side, the town on the Canadian side, the city is thriving. You know, and I'm not really sure about what's up with that. Maybe just it's, you know, what it is. But it's potato farmers up there. But yeah, I didn't realize it until I talked to him, because I was trying to make a trip up there. And it's like once you get to Boston, it's still an entire day to drive to where he's at. And you'd think if you're in Boston, you could go just about anywhere in the Northeast and not, you know, but it's still like 10 or 12 hours from Boston, or 13, or an ungodly amount. It's up there, man. You guys are up there in the cold.
Well,
So,
what I was trying to say is what we had learned is this is 43 degrees, and in where I live, it's 49 degrees.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought that Maine was quite a bit higher. It's definitely colder by a long shot because they're on the Atlantic. But yeah, we're really surprised where I was. What were you gonna say, Steve?
you want to tell everybody about the conference and some of the speakers we're having out here on the East Coast?
Yeah, do my little spiel while I roll a joint. 1, 2, 3. Here I go. Yeah, no, we've been hanging out with. We had a great dinner tonight. I don't know if Steve probably talked about it. We have Dr. Elaine Ingham from Soil Food Web Inc. This is going to start us off in the morning talking soil biology, soil food web, all the characters, the microorganisms in the soil that eat and digest and die, that make all the nutrients for our plants. And then my partner, Leighton Morrison, Kingdom Aquaponics, is going to talk about next level biology, basically his process that he's kind of developed to extract and harvest microorganisms and make them shelf stabilize them so they can be reapplied to compost or to beds or to plants. There's multiple methods to apply them. And then Steve, you're going to talk on aquaponics and greenhouse design and yeah. And then we're going to do something we haven't done before that I've been wanting to do, both Leighton and I have been wanting to do for a while, is a speakers panel, just a straightforward, no agenda questions to all the speakers that are present. So Elaine will be there. Suzanne Wainwright will be there. Suzanne Wainwright Evans. Leighton will be there. Steve will be there. And I'm not sure if Chris will be there Friday night or not. I think he might be. And just have a straight up, Q&A, fire them away, and let's see how it goes, because these are all really experienced people they're experts in their field, but they also are broadly experienced, and all these things have interaction with each other, and so sometimes there's a little bit of confusion between the speakers, and they can teach each other things, and they don't understand things, but it's only through conversation and dialogue and walking through it that the learning happens. So it's pretty cool. We had a good time at dinner and after having drinks, learning some of this stuff and just kind of going through it. So I think it'll be a really valuable time. And then Saturday morning, we flip the script and we're going with Suzanne Wainwright Evans into IPM, insect pest management with beneficial insects. And then in the afternoon, we'll go to Korean natural farming with Chris Trump. And then Wendy is going to come on and speak to us for a bit on a topic to be determined, to be announced. And then in the evening, we're going to do Dragonfly Earth Medicine panel. We got some good farmers up here. I won't be able to quote them all to you guys. We got Grape Grows, Ancient Days, and there's one more that I can't remember the name. And then myself, I'm going to host that panel. And then Sunday, we're going to do a full genetic day with Kevin Jodrey from Wonderland Nursery. One Log Treehouse, his current dispensary system down there in California. And he's going to talk about genetics and classifying them putting them into categories for sale, so that you're growing plants that can actually be sold, plants that are appropriate for your environment, for your design, and that also are appropriate for the market. What we find often is that people are, when you say, what are you growing? They say, oh, we're going to do it all. We're going to grow flowers. We're going to grow concentrates. We're going to make edibles. I got a topical line, and we're doing lollipops, and I got these suppositories, the whole damn thing. And you're like, okay, you're going to fit that all into a 30 by 100 foot greenhouse and market it and package it. All right. So Kevin does a good job of just breaking that down and kind of like calling out the no nonsense and helping you think about how to be really strategic in what you're doing so that you can sell the shit and make some money. So super valuable information. And then he'll host a breeders panel that will follow about 6 breeders, will be on board, and yeah, go through and interview them and see what they've been breeding for, see what they've been selecting for, so that you then can make the choices of who you want to work with based upon what you're growing, what your environment is, what your grow methods are, etc. So yeah, it's a big weekend, and Maine is a pretty cool spot, to be honest. I'm stoked. It's #1 restaurant capital of the nation. I don't know what that means, but I was told that 3 times today, so that's pretty cool. And we did have some good food, so
Yeah.
right.
And then
So,
you're doing seed swap too, yeah?
Yeah,
Oh
seed
yeah,
swap
we're gonna do
Sunday.
seed swap. Thanks.
Seed swap
Yeah,
Sunday.
seed swap Sunday. So please come. I know there's some folks coming with some pretty fire shit. I'm pretty excited to see actually a guy that's popped on here on the show a few times before Heady Extracts. He's got some good stuff. Yeah, he's got some real good stuff. And he's coming.
Hell yeah. I didn't know he was coming. He didn't tell me, that motherfucker.
What's even better is this guy's been making selections specifically for aquaponics. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nice.
If I had known that, I would have brought him some of the same shit. I'm sure I can find a way for paper planes to find their way to him with seeds.
Yeah, paper planes go a long ways.
They do. Turbojet boosters on them these days, I hear.
Y'all know how we used to smuggle seeds around through the mail. Not me,
Yeah,
people allegedly. CD case.
Yep. So I got my first mine from Mark Emery's company. I think was the first one. No, take it back. My first seed purchase was at a High Times store in Montreal. I don't know. There's a chain called High Times, and they're not associated with the magazine. That's Canadian based, and that was the first place I ever bought seeds.
I think the first time I ever bought seeds was through a seed bank out of Spain that got them from some other country that got them from Amsterdam. So it took like a month and a half or 2 months to get to you. And I still remember because they gave me a freebie, and it was this it was some strain, super sativa Thai something or another. I can't quite remember. The damn plant grew. I swear to God, I had like a 10-foot orchard ladder, and I could not reach the top of it. And it was like October 25th, and the rain was coming down, and the whole thing was just molded out. And it was like, I mean, all of a sudden I was like, oh, Thai sticks. I totally get it now, because that's all you could have done with that stuff. But it was fun to grow. I think I got a whopping like 1 ounce off of a 15-foot tall plant. But it was a damn good 1 ounce.
Nice.
What about y'all? Where did you guys get your first seeds? Or purchase, not get, purchase. Where did you purchase your first set of seeds?
I've never bought seeds in my whole career. My company.
I have either.
Huh?
I don't think I have either.
Yeah, my company's always give me seeds. So
I don't think my brother or my stepdad really counts. So
yeah.
I mean, it was always that. Or playing.
I was 11.
You were 11.
I was 11 years old. Got some seeds from friend's older brother. Showed them to my grandmother. My grandmother is a Swedish organic gardener. And she guessed that they were cannabis seeds right away. She looked at them and she said, "Oh, wow, are those cannabis seeds? I've always wanted to try growing cannabis. Let's plant them right away." I think she said, "Oh, they look sort of like spinach seeds." I remember. She was about 88 or 89 years old at the time, and I was 11. And she said, "Let's grow these seeds."
That's awesome.
We're in Massachusetts, though, and they didn't flower like Colombian. This was probably 1968 or 69, right, or whatever.
They didn't finish in time. They're long.
No, but then the next year, she had a fantastic idea. The next year, we got a hold of some similar genetics or something like that, and the next year, she pulled them up by the roots and stuck them in buckets in the basement before the first frost, and let them mature a couple weeks longer, in the basement like that. and that was amazing. You know, the buds grew without light, and they were very, you know, like golden colored. And
Huh.
it was really cool.
That's awesome.
That's my starting story. first year
Yeah,
growing.
that's pretty cool. That's way better than I got them from my brother. So
I think all of our first seeds was bag seed, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, my first seed was Super Lemon Haze from
Oh,
Greenhouse.
wow. Strain name and everything.
I'm
What
sorry,
up, baby?
Mr. Snob.
I know, no, I
Very
came
impressive.
I came in late, but I came in hard. I talked about it in Redway. Like my first plant that I was gifted was ATF, and it was a $4,000 cut. So I started off with, still to this day, one of the best plants that I've ever seen and ever owned. I still have it.
Wow.
Yeah, so I kind of came into the game really spoiled. So everything was like had to hold up to that light. And I remember when I bought those Super Lemon Haze seeds. They were pretty dope. It was just total newbie. It was like, you know, what's hot, you know, what won high times, and Super Lemon Haze won high times that year, or she got second place or something like that. And the name sounded it sounded fucking hot as shit. So I was like, all right, and I, you know, did my thing, and they came in the mail, and it was wild. You could just order marijuana seeds. You know,
I got some.
marijuana.
My first thing when I ordered those, I was paranoid for like, I don't know. I think I got them in, and I just like acted like maybe it wasn't coming to me. And oh no, I didn't even put my name on it. I used a pseudonym. I was like, oh no, this is like super, like not good for her, and I'm so anxious about it. And even though like people are doing it, I was like, ugh. And I kind of just hit it, and like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I lived on pins and needles for about 2 weeks, expecting the FBI and the SWAT team to like break down my door for like, you know, the whopping packs of seeds that I bought from like, you know, through Spain, through somewhere, through Amsterdam, like through 4 countries. It was totally nuts.
I had that with my first glass. The first time I ordered glass, I remember I was super paranoid. I ordered it, and I made sure they wrote big, because I was super into computers at the time, and I was only 14, so I ordered it, and I had them write, you know, computer parts on the box, like on the instructions in the note section, you know, because my mom would totally just grab it, not even open it. She didn't give a shit about the computer stuff. So that was like my way to get it past my mom.
Nice.
I still have that bong and that bowl, believe it. Right first, so I feel like I'm the only person left that has their first bowl.
Oh yeah, mine's long broke.
I was gonna say most of us break them.
Yep. No, yeah, like probably all my favorites have pretty much bit the dust. The last one I had, which you can see on the first episodes of the podcast, it finally broke. But I had that one for probably like 6-7 years, maybe something like that. That's probably the longest survivor. But yeah, definitely not even close to the first one. Probably like the 12th one. Yeah.
I think
Marty,
I lose mine. Like they just not necessarily break, but like, you know, you take it somewhere and you get high and you forget to bring it back home. Somebody's so stoked to inherit it. We have migratory bongs in Humboldt County. They just go from like home to home to home.
Or someone gets arrested, so their friend goes over and cleans out everything before the cops get there.
Yeah.
So they have all their glass. I think I got 2 or 3 collections that way when I lived in Philadelphia, allegedly.
Or Kevin Jodry ends up taking your super sweet black torch home with him.
Oh yeah, that was funny. The night Kevin found the torch. Yeah. Some guy was like, give me your address. I found it last night.
Like, oh yeah. Somebody hand it to me. I was like, damn it, I don't use these, but this is real nice. It's real nice. It's in my garage. I'll send it back.
Kevin's awesome.
He's killer. We love him.
Oh yeah.
But don't lend him your bong.
Yeah, don't lend him anything.
Hold on to your torches to your bong.
That's why I roll joints when I go out.
Yes. Yes, my friend. Roll joints with Kevin. Very good.
Yeah. It's like the wisest advice you could give somebody. Dude, just learn the pre-roll. Just when you're going out, learn the pre-roll.
So on one quick note, there won't be a show on Tuesday. I'll be on an airplane, so that's not going to work.
Come on.
And then yeah, the internet.
He hopes he'll be on an airplane. These airplanes come to the East Coast.
Yeah.
Just be in an airport. I'm just saying.
Oh my God. Yeah. All kinds of fucked up every which way.
Yeah, it's been nuts here at the airport locally, and even like I-5 and most of the roads going south were closed for like on and off for the past like week and a half. It's been
101 clubs in Humboldt. I don't know if you guys saw that today. There was a section of the 101 clubs.
When was that?
Today, this morning. Yeah, you can't take the 101 north right now.
From snow?
No, from rain.
Oh God.
And multiple towns. The Russian River is completely over its banks in every direction.
All of them are. The eel is.
Yeah,
the
the eel is.
It's gnarly up there.
When we left Tuesday morning, the Eel River was way the fuck over its bank.
It was worse yesterday. What day is it today? Thursday. All right. Yesterday. Wednesday when I left, it was like the orchard, the vineyards were under water. Like you could see
the grape level,
grapevine.
The 4 or 5 foot tops of those was underwater.
Yeah, the whole vine is underwater. So I wonder if it's the 101 where there's actually, I happened to film my friend and I, Aaron, were coming back from a High Times festival. And we were driving north, and there was this one part of 101 that collapses every year. And there was a huge landslide pretty much before we left and headed south. And they had it more or less cleared up, but they were watching this one giant like flange of rock that was coming out. And they were like, do we want to make it fall, or are we just going to wait for it to fall on its own? And I think they decided, well, if you don't make a decision, the decision gets made. So they decided not to do anything and watch it. So we were driving up, coming back from San Bernardino High Times, and there was one truck in front of us, and they stopped us. Like, people were going through, everything was fine. They stopped us, and we're like, all right. And we're sitting there, and we're like, oh, there's actually, like, you can hear rocks, like, trickling down, and, like, this kind of, like, soft stream effect. It was kind of nice, you know, and I was like, well, this is a trip. So I started filming it, and all of a sudden, the Caltrans guys are like, why don't you guys back up further? We're like, all right. And there's K-rails and this huge chain link fence, and then the slide is behind all of that. And so we end up backing up a little ways, and it's like now it's starting to come down a little bit bigger. You can see bigger rocks like pinging off the fence. You can hear it. And all of a sudden, the mountain melts. The K-rails are whoosh, I mean, it was like, the K-rails literally are completely obliterated. I mean, and the road is gone. There is no highway. So I called my friend Casey O'Neill from Happy Day Farms, and I was like, so the back road through Bell Springs has generally been closed to anybody other than like people who live up there. So we're living at your farm right now, and we're coming through because 101 is dead. And so we took the back road, but that particular video, like, I posted it on Facebook because I was like, this was so crazy, you guys. And between the hour of getting through Bell Springs and back into like reception range, I don't even know, it was like 10 or 12 different radio and TV stations that all wanted to air it, and like our local places were airing it, and my Facebook video hit like 500,000 within like the first 2 hours, and it topped out at 1 million the next day, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then people started totally beating me up and being like, could you say oh my god anymore? And other people like, hey, she didn't say holy fucking shit, give her a break. And it was really entertaining for a while, and then I just had to be like somebody said they wanted me shot because I was so annoying. I was like, people are so fucked up.
I used to have a video online feeding a bird eating spider, and then people probably got 2 to 3 dozen death threats from feeding a spider because they felt bad for what it was eating. It's like, this is nature. What are you talking about?
This is where I was like, wow, really? If you had been there and watched a mountain eat a freeway and K-rails. And by the way, we had parked originally where they'd stopped us the first time was where those K-rails melted out of the way. So I was just like, I'm like, yeah, you know, I thought I did pretty good, but if you don't like it, turn your volume off. Problem solved. How about you just create your own solutions, people? Sorry, I totally got sidetracked 100% there, but yeah, I guess now I'm
No,
really
it's just funny. Like social media gets so weird.
so weird. So people, yeah, I'm sure people who are watching this, well, whatever. Like, thicker skin, who cares?
So what have you been up to this week, Doug? We're gonna start to wrap up the show here.
Oh, just the usual stuff. You know, gardening. Been spending a lot of time in the garden. Yeah, got those cherry bomb plants going. They're starting to. They grew really big, really fast. I forgot what a gigantic, vigorous strain cherry bomb is, which is really funny because I inbred it, you know, exclusively for at least 10, 12, 13 generations before I started giving it out. And a lot of people are, you know, people talk about inbreeding depression and stuff like that. Man, I don't know about that. I think, I don't know. Maybe I think it's possible. I think it's possible with breeding to lose, you know, lose qualities and to lose sight of where you're going and stuff like that. That's for sure. You make mistakes, you make wrong turns, you know. But the idea of automatic inbreeding depression just from continuous incrossing, I don't think it's really true. And I think that cannabis, it might be true with corn, but I think cannabis has really got a lot of, even with just two, you know, just the male and a female plant, each individually only representing one, you know. But I guess with cherry bomb, I started using multiple males and things like that, you know, doing sort of open pollinated grows really early on, using multiple females, multiple males, which I think is probably one of the keys to inbreeding over a long period of time. But yeah, it's really cool to see that they're, you know, it's still in great condition. I don't know how many generations Swami pushed it down. I don't know what he's done, but I'll soon be finding out. I can see right away that, you know, it's obviously cherry bomb, that I can recognize the serrations in the leaves, like, you know, my little buddies. I haven't seen you guys in 5 years. You know, I haven't had a cherry bomb plant in the garden, and they're back again. You know, the leaves, everything, the shape. I'd forgotten how fast they grow. Like I said, I was like, my God, they're just huge. They're bigger than all the other plant, you know, the other seeds that I started with them. Much bigger. The 3 cherry bombs are the 3 biggest plants. You know, it's like, whoa. Hopefully, also a friend of mine in the Northeast, up in Concord, in Massachusetts, is probably going to be running some of my genetics outside this year, and hopefully in a pretty large, you know, larger space. And we might be able to grow out some. So I'm going to try and get him some cherry bomb seeds for that run.
Sweet.
Yeah. I don't want to talk anymore about him. That's allegedly we're going to be doing that. Okay. But yeah, it's always nice to do big grows. It would be great to see a couple hundred cherry bomb plants. But you know, also the thing, you know, not all seed batches do you want to see a few hundred plants. You know, it's like it depends on what you're looking at. You know, like the idea that it's always great when you're breeding that you always need to look at hundreds of plants. I don't know about that. And not only that, sometimes, you know, you have seed batches that don't really have enough variation to warrant it. You know, so it's possible to have a seed batch that's pretty stable, as I hate to use the term, but I mean, yeah, exactly. Where variation. You've got lack of variation to the point where, now, of course, you often have that with feminized seeds, but I'm saying even with male-female seeds, it's definitely possible to have, usually through hybridization. I've seen it after a double hybrid. So a hybrid one followed by an immediate hybrid after that. And those are some of the stablest seeds I've ever seen.
What do you mean by hybrid 1 and hybrid 2? Are you talking like F1s and F2s or backcrossing?
Yeah, making an F1 between two unrelated, and then immediately taking that F1 and hybridizing it with something else. So going another generation of hybridization. So really, you've got in the end, you got something that's 50% one and 25 of the other. But it's just I don't know. I've seen it like twice. I've done it twice, and it's amazing. It seems to be probably the best plan for making stable male female seeds, if those are what you want. But I'm not really sure they are what you want, because if you've seen most phenotypes within 10 or 15 females, you know what I mean, and then after that you're repeating yourself, then that is pretty reduced variation. And reduced variation is not good if you're planning to get better and better or find more plants each generation that exceed the qualities that I don't mean just the fire, I mean whatever the things are that you were aiming for in your previous generations, so whatever your traits are that you're looking for. So you're looking to improve these things. You want to, every generation, want to see improvement. Stability or lack of variation could work against that. It's not necessarily something that you always want.
I've got a phrase for you: consistency of properties.
Yeah, within the family,
stabilized or whatever. It's like once it's got consistent properties.
Yeah, well, you want to get a bunch of really good plants with variation amongst a theme.
Well, and I think
you don't want
it depends.
Sorry, yeah?
It was just gonna say it depends too on what state you're growing in and what the regulation state. So California, we have this incredible price on testing. You're looking at $800 to $1,000 per batch, and it doesn't matter whether your batch is an ounce up to 50 pounds. So there's some amount of really value in having a very stable line that you can say, I'm going to give you this, I'm going to sell you these seeds. You're going to get 100 of them. You could expect, standard 50-50 ratio, female to male. And in that population of 50 females, you're going to have, maybe a Punnett square of a 25, 25, and a 50 of 3 phenotypes. Like, that's very attractive to a commercial grower who's growing from seed. But if you're growing for that pheno hunt and you're growing 2,000 plants and you're looking for the unicorn, you want as much variety as you can have.
Variety, yeah.
Right. So it's all about what you're aiming for and what your goal is, and what you're doing as a breeder and what you're doing as a cultivator. So there's value in both for sure.
Yeah, I think if you want to eliminate variation, feminized seeds. Feminized is the way to go.
Yeah.
Why not? Really.
Manipulate.
Yeah, I mean legit feminized seed. Really do it with the silver nitrate. Take plants that are good. You're not. I don't. I think it's bad. The only thing it's bad to do is to take plants that are already that are Hermy plants that are naturally hermaphrodites, and using those to incross. Am I the only? Did you guys fall off? Is anyone else there?
No, y'all are just going on. We just kind of, you've been pretty quick.
I thought they froze. But yeah, I mean, I think ethically speaking, you should take plants that are not naturally hermaphrodites. But sometimes, sometimes a great plant is a Hermy, or is potentially a Hermy. My Oreo plant, I haven't seen a hermaphrodite flower on it in about 5 or 6 years. I guess whatever I'm doing cultivation wise now doesn't ever cause it to throw the Hermy flowers, but it potentially will do it. It's 50% Durban poison, and that's a classic sativa landrace, and that's where you usually get your Hermies, genetically speaking.
And I still think I agree with you. Yeah, I think that I've always been a proponent of the fact that you can take charge of that somewhat by your environment. If you keep your humidities in certain ranges and your temperatures in certain ranges, I found through time that you can cut down that Hermy on that. Especially like Even when Hank from Dutch Passion Seeds it's in Jorge's book or George's book. I mean, I don't know. So it talks about where he's got this one little thing where it's a page out of his book that says, even though you got a feminized seed or whatever, and maybe he was talking about that were produced from hermaphrodite plants. I don't know, because I'm not a big fan of that idea right there, because that just sounds like unless you're looking for that, I think that you're opening a can of worms. I like your idea of doing actual, like you said, the true femmes with silver nitrate, so that you know that that's what they are, and and you have, then again, there's that word stability that you get, or consistency of properties.
You get the same kind of stability as you do with a tomato or any other. Most other plants are selfing flowers anywhere, perfect flowers. They have both parts in the flower. I mean, cannabis is one of the rare ones. We were talking about this before. I think we came up with 4 or 5 crops that are dioecious, that have the flowers on 2 separate plants. We couldn't come up with very many. There's so few. Almost all plants are self-pollinating. You know what I mean? So
there's still a lot of cucumbers out. You get by cucumber brie, you still get cucumbers. You get male and female.
Right.
I got a pack of them, as a matter of fact, because when I started out, washed a lot of cucumbers and ended up using Derator in the end, because that's what they wanted at the store. But those are $1 a seed. It's like a pack of Derator, 100 seeds is $88 plus your shipping and tax or whatever. So you're basically paying $100, and those are those 14-inch cucumbers you heat wrap. And they're like $3
English.
50 cents.
English cucumbers or whatever they call them.
It's been a few years now since I did that, but I remember when I got these seeds when I first started, and cucumber's definitely one of the plants that you can have. You'll have male and females in the batch.
So anything else? Well, we gotta wrap the show up here quick.
Sorry.
Anything else going on in your garden? Or just breeding, growing stuff out, or?
Yeah, just breeding, growing stuff out. Let's see. It's been really cold here, so the outdoor garden, the veggies and everything, not so much, man. It's been freezing here in California this whole last month. Making soap. I know that's not part of the show. I'm excited about soap.
I'm growing loofah gourds this year.
Me too.
Yeah, I made some soap with loofah. I made loofah. I cut the ends off them and put them in the mold and poured the soap on it and stuff. Made with these scrubbies. It's so good,
isn't it? That's what I want to do. I think I started way too many plants, so I have like 50 of them.
Oh yeah, you can have.
But I also have 12 acres of garden space, so I'm fine.
Nice, beautiful. You can eat the loofah when they're smaller. My Filipino family, they cook them all the time. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just learning about them because I've never grown them before, so it's kind of like my big exciting project this year. Everybody's like, "Ooh, cannabis genetics." I'm like, "No, loofah gourds." Oh my gosh, you guys.
Hell yeah. Yeah, we're into all kinds of things on this podcast. We grow everything around here.
Roger, you got anything going on in your garden?
No, nothing I could really talk about, and things are I'm going through hell, personal hell right now. So we try to keep that off the show, so I'm not going to elaborate. But the she-devil came home tonight, and so life isn't so good over here on the farm tonight. But I'm glad y'all had a little bit of a show, because I'd have just been over here being depressed. But no, I'm not growing right now because of stuff that's going on. It's going to get nasty, and so I'm just going to continue to work on converting my hydroponic operation into my KNF, and I'm going to share it. See, I'm going to be sharing what I already know with aquaponics and KNF as I get all my inputs made and all like that. In fact, I'm really looking forward to. I was going to do it now, but I decided to wait till after Ann Arbor, since I'm going and I'll be gone for 5 days. I'm going to do I was ready to do my IMO one, but I'm not going to mess with that until I get back. So that's going to be 3 or 4 weeks out. I just feel like there's no sense in trying to rush that and get it done before I go. There's so much to do anyway. So You know, it's one thing after another. Still building fences, still cleaning up the greenhouse from when I got hurt and sick 5 years ago. So I got a couple young guys that are helping me out. So I just think we're going to accomplish it this year, at least to get it back open, cleaned up and back open and covered. That's going to be something else that after the trip and the expenditures of doing the trip, I can't really afford to buy poly until I get back and get some more money. So, you know, but I had to get, I need to get out of here. I've been shut in here for like 2.5 years since, since the shit hit the fan. And I'm ready for a vacation. You know,
Cool. It'll be fun to hang out with you, man.
Yeah.
And it's a great segue here. Well, the conference, if you can't make this weekend, or if you want to buy an online streaming ticket, is in March. So March 22nd through 23rd, we'll be doing the conference one last time for this year. And that will be live streamed as well. So I'll be running the live stream. So if you have questions, you'll have that interactivity. I'll raise my hand and ask the question on your behalf. So if the live stream people have a question, they'll have that very high level of interactivity with the speakers during the conference. And then we're also going to have some of the speakers pop on. We have intermission and stuff, so we're going to have the speakers pop on during intermission so they can just talk right to the people on the live stream. You guys will have one-on-one access the same way that everyone there does. So it's really going to be awesome. Even if you're just doing a live stream, you're going to be able to ask questions. Dr. Lane, myself, Chris Trump, anyone else, Wendy, you'll be able to ask her questions. So anyone that you're looking to ask questions, and Josh.
It's a really key opportunity, you guys, because this is the first time Josh is doing this, and it's hard to make it to these conferences. A lot of them are in really out of the way places. We're traveling all over the place. But like I said, I've been on the road since 9 a.m. Wednesday. I don't even know. I don't know what time it is. I don't even know what state I'm in. It's like that much of a thing. But all of us are here dedicated to make sure that you guys have access to the information and the experiences that we've had. And there's really no other conference that has this particular group of experts coming together. So if you can't make it in person, which is honestly the best way, like there's going to be some hands-on stuff happening that it's really key to get to know. But if you can't make it in person because it's too far, it's too hard, whatever the case may be, live streaming is going to be an awesome option. Like, honestly, I was like, can I maybe just live screen from home instead? But my tickets are bought, and I love hanging out with all these guys, so it's killer to be there in person. But live stream, take advantage, man. This may never happen again.
Josh dropped out. You want to find information on tickets, you go to regenerativeorganiccannabis.com, and that's where the conference is posted and all the information on the tickets and the live stream. And it's actually the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th in Ann Arbor, just like it was last week in Humboldt. So Steve left Sunday out, but that's the same thing. It's going to be the seed discussions, seed swap, and all that done on Sunday. Just like
Kevin Jodry on Sundays and seeds. That's the best reason to come in person is a seed swap. In Humboldt, I got some from an island off the coast of Africa. Some really, really awesome land-raised sativa. I don't want to say exactly where, so don't get anyone in trouble. In case someone's boss is watching or something, but a very remote place that has very unique sativa genetics, and I was over the moon when they offered me some. So if you're looking to get some really and just really awesome stuff, I got some stuff from HBK. I got some stuff from Alan from Probiotics. I got some stuff from all over, like
Equilibrium Genetics.
I got some from Kevin Jodry, 3 Point Selections. We had Alpenglow. We had
a lot of people that actually just brought their personal seeds. I actually forgot mine, but I brought them this weekend. So I actually have a bunch of seeds that are propagations from my dad and someone I know. Shit. See, I need to know.
We've all done that once or twice.
Right. Right. So a certain person that we've been trading genetics back and forth, and we basically
allegedly
have this amazing thing that's been happening for decades now, and we just brought some Canadian genetics into it. So I'm kind of super excited to to bring that, especially up here, because we are in a really cold, wet area that has a much shorter growing season. So I know that even my stuff from Humboldt County isn't necessarily going to be what y'all want up here, but you know, we've got some Northern Oregon, Canadian genetics being brought into that. I mean, it should be a really fun pheno hunt for people. And so the seed swap itself is just, it's, if you're all, I mean, you know, you could try and bid on an auction to get a pack of aficionado for 200 to 500 bucks, or you could buy a ticket and come here and like go home with, and the guys were giving out free seeds madly. Like, I mean, everybody was just walking away with, you know, Jeans Jackson from Feeborn Selections. He was giving out packs of, not packs, like literally they'd come with their old school Humboldt baggies of seeds, dumping them into like little envelopes or little packages. And it's just, you know, it was, for me, it was very reminiscent of how things used to be, where people like, oh yeah, I got this bomb ass shit, but like, here, let me squeeze some seeds out of this bud for you. And it's fun. It's really awesome. All the guys were, ladies, come on, ladies. I know we all are reticent with calling ourselves breeders, but seriously, come on. Ancient Green Farm.
Shout out to them.
Great. Ancient Green Farm, cultivation, extraction, and apothecary. Cool. Where'd this come from?
Hotel desk. They dropped it off for us.
Allegedly.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Someone may or may not have dropped off some bomb ass stickers and
for us in person.
From somewhere maybe in this state, perhaps.
Yeah.
The weed fairy came.
One of the local main growers hooked it up.
Look, there's a hemp wick.
Nice.
Yeah,
awesome.
Very, very thoughtful.
Heck yeah.
I want to try to shout
that. Heck yeah.
That's killer. Good stickers.
Awesome. And
they've got bees and mushrooms. This is cool.
Yeah.
Good logo. Good sticker.
So I've been working on a bunch of crazy stuff this last week. I got some really cool stuff that's coming out by Christmas time that I'll be able to talk about here in a couple of months, but a bunch of stuff is in the works. I think is going to be really exciting for a lot of the viewers, a lot of the home growers, especially people with smaller grow spaces. I think you guys are going to really like what we got in the works. And then that's about it. I can't really talk about much else that I've been working on. Working with some projects in Oklahoma, getting those rolling forward. And Arkansas, yeah, is the newest one. I got some people working with that are all licensed up now. So we'll have some aquaponics over there. So gonna have a lot of cool stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna have a lot of cool places where we're getting film from. We're gonna be down touring ZBD Hemp sometime in the next 2 weeks, I think, down in Pueblo. They're a CBD hemp producer of aquaponics, for all aquaponics. That'll be really cool. So I have a lot of cool footage for you guys in the next couple of weeks here. So, and then if you're around, please go check out the Science Regenerative Cannabis Conference, and come out, come out and visit us in Portland, Maine. If you're on the East Coast, please tell your friends in Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont. All of them are within 2 hour, 3 hour drive. Come get your knowledge on, and come out and support the crew, and get some seeds on Sunday. Really get your grow. Learn some knowledge, and then get some good genetics, and go home and get your grow on. So, thanks a lot, and thanks to everyone who supports us. Doug or Mr. Green Jeans, why don't you tell everybody how to find you?
greenjeansgarden.com. That's me. Thanks a lot. Great to be here. It was great.
Get seeds from you. How do they get seeds from you? You got an email.
So far, just send me an email there. Just send me an email off the website. Maybe I'll get the shopping cart going or something.
Do you have any more of that Felosia?
What was it? Oh, the Feijoa?
Feijoa, sorry.
Feijoa Kush. Yeah, that one I've got to really crank some more seeds of that. Everybody loves that idea because it's basically a strain kit. It's basically an F3, and it's ready to ready to work some more, you know, and it's at a nice point to. So it's got I think I did some heavy lifting, and it's in perfect position for somebody who wants to, you know, see what they can do with it. And I have to crank some more seeds of that. I'm sorry to say those are just about sold out. But I did give you some of those, didn't I? Yeah.
I have to. I'm excited. They're that I'm going to pop up next week.
Yeah. Excellent.
What about you, Roger?
Well, as always, you can find me at I Love Growing Marijuana.com, which happens to be a company out of Amsterdam. And I've been proud to work for them for 5 years now. And they're really great guys. And I was lucky enough. I had to miss Humboldt, and it really broke my heart because I had to wait for some confirmations with my finances to come through. And then the tickets were too expensive for the flight. So I had to skip Humboldt because of my meager, budget. But I talked to the company, and they paid for my tickets to go to Ann Arbor. They covered my flights for me and Will, my first hired moderator that I hired. The company gave me the money that basically we're going to have to come out of pocket a few bucks, but a few bucks is a lot less than 2 plane tickets from the South to Michigan and 4 nights in a hotel. So and Josh, I got my rooms for $85 a night, dude. Same place.
Nice. So Josh, why don't you tell everybody how to find you?
I'm at Dutchblooms.net and Regenerative Organic Cannabis.
What about you, Wendy?
You can find me at Sunnabis.com, Sunnabis on Instagram, and Humboldt's Full Sun Farms on Facebook. I'm not active on Facebook, though. Don't expect a lot from that one.
You can find us over at the Aquaponic Cannabis Growers Group on Facebook or on Ponics on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartRadio,
Does anybody tweet?
Twitter, all the things, Instagram, all the things. So, and we'll catch you guys next time. And I really hope to come out and see whoever is coming out to the conference this weekend. And if not, I really hope to see you guys on Ann Arbor. And if not, I hope to see you on the live stream. So we'll take care. Cheers.
Night.
All right, everybody.